Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Welcome back to some more bite-sized business advice. We got an awesome episode lined up today about one of those topics that maybe pisses some people off, but we're going to dive in and unpack crypto. Yes, all of it. We're going to unpack everything about crypto in 15 minutes. Okay, probably not, but we're gonna hear a story that I think is super cool that I just heard before we started recording from our guest Corey Geary. He's gonna unpack, maybe dispel some myths about crypto. And Corey, before we really get going here, do I have to say that this is for educational purposes only? I know crypto is a touchy topic these days, so let me just put that out there. But Corey, welcome to the show.
Yeah, put it out there to be nice and safe. Big brother right now in the United States is not too kind to crypto, and so we're just being extra careful right now.
Yeah, so this is purely speculation and entertainment, but that's no different than usual because we always entertain on this show. That's what we're all about. So Corey, let's dive in. You shared an interesting backstory of how you got into crypto in the first place, and kind of blew my mind because I feel like a lot of small business owners can relate to where you were. So get me up to speed here. Give me your story of how you discovered crypto.
Absolutely, man, because it didn't start with crypto, obviously, and it led to that. And one of the books I could recommend your audience before I dive into my story that really kind of turned on the light bulb through my entrepreneur journey is read the book The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Absolutely game changer in my entrepreneur journey. But 10 years ago was when I started my entrepreneur journey, and I started with real estate. And I tell people real estate saved my life because when I got into real estate, I was just chasing the dollar. And by being around like-minded people, at the time I was an alcoholic, a drug addict, and being around those like-minded people trying to get better in their life, I actually was able to go sober. And I actually got married, and I have a family now, and I owe that to real estate. So I tell people real estate saved my life, but also throughout that journey, in 2022, I took a step back because I was not happy on what I built. I had built a multi-million-dollar real estate wholesaling and flipping company. I had multiple employees. I was in, multiple lawsuits at any given time, hiring and firing like crazy. It was just, I got sold the dream in it. I love the idea that, I was able to create wealth out of real estate, and I was able to, it saved my life. But at the same time, I had built this prison. I had built this prison that kept me up at night. I never spent any time with the family that I have, and it was like, I ended up being miserable. And so I took a step back in 2022 and I went on a spiritual journey, and I discovered, I'd already been dabbling with cryptocurrency, but throughout that journey, I discovered that could be the place where I need to start focusing my time and energy on, because I was having already a little bit of success with it on the passive income side of things. And most people don't know or realize you can make passive income in crypto, but like by the end of 2022, I was making so much in passive income that it paled in comparison to what real estate company was producing. And so I shut the company down and moved my whole family to Puerto Rico. And now we hang out here and we do crypto full time. It's been an absolute blessing. I've been able to buy my time back. I do what I want with whom I want, however I want, which that explains, success to me. And it's been amazing. We even started a mastermind, a community where we're helping other entrepreneurs have exposure the right way, the safe way into cryptocurrency, to have some, a little bit of diversification in their portfolio and produce some passive income with their crypto. And we've got like billionaire Robert Allen. He's in our community, which has been awesome to serve him. We have 190 members in there. We had one guy, it was like 2 weeks ago, he turned $3,000 into $350,000 on one of the coins that we called. I was flying at the time, so I did not able to get that move, but he did. And so got a lot of guys making some money in there, and it's just been a blast. So that's all we do now is we do crypto full time, doing the due diligence, the research, getting integrated with other communities, and then doing the mastermind out here in Puerto Rico, man, just kind of rocking and rolling. It's been a beautiful journey.
That's amazing. And you hear big numbers like that in crypto all the time. And then the common theme is like, oh, that's a scam, or that's a one-hit wonder. That can't happen for me. And before we go any further, again, this is for entertainment purposes only, I think.
Right.
But I am curious to unpack this too, because you said something that struck me, and this is what you said in the intro before we started recording, was you built a seven-figure prison. And I meet business owners every single day who they come to us. One of the main reasons people come to us is because they're in that prison and they want their time back. And we have a
Yeah.
program where we kind of, go over your operations and get you 50% of your time back in 90 days. So many people want their time back and they don't want to be chained to their business. So it's very relatable that was your backstory. And obviously it pushed you to something outside of that where you didn't feel chained. But
Right.
the crypto side, if you will, and even the real estate investing, those are air quotes scary for a lot of people. Like, I'm curious to
Mhm.
hear some of the things you're doing to make it safer, more educational based for people, and not just like these meme coins that you're just telling everybody to throw their life savings at, because that's not sustainable either. We all know that. So how are you helping your mastermind members really navigate these waters?
It's a great question. And so the most important thing to do with cryptocurrency is start treating it like an asset class and stop treating it like a casino. And that's what most people do in this space. They don't understand how market cycles work. They don't understand where the liquidity is flushing back and forth, and what, they just say, for example, the ETH to BTC ratio, and how to look at that chart and determine where the cycle's changing. There's so many different little things that that most people don't take in consideration. They just, like you said, come and buy a meme coin. And so what we do is we go in and we find good quality blockchains that have product market fit that are emerging right now in the middle of this accumulation zone. And we do this through integrating with different communities. We do this through a lot of research and due diligence. It takes me about 40 or 50 different projects of researching. And I mean, not just reading the white paper. I mean, actually reading the audits and going through these things with a fine tooth comb to figure out which ones to invest in. And I would say probably about every 40 to 50 is what it takes to find one good, solid quality, good product, right? That has a good community behind it, that's been audited, it's got good code, it's going to do something in crypto that has good product market fit, and that will change maybe the landscape of crypto, or at least help facilitate something else in a change. And that's how you need to look for those kind of things in crypto. And that's what we do. That's what we, one reason why I moved to Puerto Rico is because, just like in real estate, you want to be around guys in masterminds who are always doing more deals, guys who are doing bigger deals than you. Crypto's no different. When you get into this asset class, you want to be around guys who have bigger portfolios than you. You want to see what these guys, the guys who've been full-time in crypto for 10, 15 years, Bitcoin's around 15 years now. There are guys who've been full-time since then. You want to get around these guys and see what they're doing. What's their next move? What is their thought process in the market right now? And that's what we do. And that's one reason why I moved to Puerto Rico, besides the taxes, is that anybody with big portfolios, they live out here in Puerto Rico because they get that tax break in crypto, because there's really no other way. You do get some tax savings when you go back into real estate and stuff like that, but you're still going to get hit with a tax, man. We do combine the two asset classes together. But no matter what, being out in Puerto Rico, man, it's zero taxes on your crypto. So that's very advantageous when you're going to sell. And so that's it, man. It's just a lot of due diligence, a lot of research. We hold our community by the hands. Literally, we show them what we're buying, why we're buying it, how much we're buying, anything else that they need to know about it. And they can either participate or not. They don't have to participate, right? They essentially, at the end of the day, push the buy button or sell button. This is just a community that we are in, that we're breeding up. So it's just been a blast.
Yeah, and I want to just really quickly, that it's so important about the taxes aspect of this, because I've heard so many horror stories around both, well, really everything, but in particular crypto and real estate. So shameless plug real quick, the episode right before this one, yesterday's episode on this podcast, I had a guest on. Her name was Sally Gimmon, and she went through how to set up a very specific type of trust that almost eliminates your income taxes. So I would, if you're thinking about investing in crypto, real estate, anything where there's capital gains taxes, I would go check that episode out real quick, and pay less taxes. Well, we're all about that on this show. But again, this show is only about entertainment purposes. So I'm gonna get canceled after this. Like this is okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for subscribing. This is my last episode ever. I'll be in jail tomorrow. No, but
no, it's for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't shut me down. But I think it's a fun episode because we're business owners are in that prison. Oftentimes we don't see outside of it. And there's so many other ways to invest, and you need multiple income streams to just be safe in general. It doesn't have to be crypto. It doesn't have to be real estate. We're obviously talking about that one today, but I'm curious how much of this is your full-time thing. Like you've obviously dedicated your life to crypto and also helping your community with it. But for someone, let's say me, I join your community. I have multiple businesses. Like I don't have hours a day to dedicate to crypto. So tell me about the time involved with what you're talking about, because you mentioned passive, but then you also said studying 50 projects. I don't know.
Great question.
You do. How's that work?
It's a great question, and that's entirely up to you. You can literally just mirror what we're doing, and basically, if we buy something, you go buy it. If we go stake something, you go stake it. Like you could be in there, maybe only looking at your portfolio and adjusting it, maybe once or twice a month, and that's it. And you'd be perfectly fine as long as you accumulated enough of the blue chip assets through the accumulation zone, and then maybe you make a move or two, once, twice a month. We had a guy one time, he ended up calling me and he's like, Corey, I haven't looked at my portfolio in 4 months. I'm like, bro, it's still there. It's still making passive income. Went and looked and it just means that he's not doing the new meme coin with a meme coin of the day. You know what I mean? Where we do have guys in our community that are in, they're in the trenches every single day, catching the new coins that they're launching. And it's, that's a guy who made one of the guys who made a $3 grand at 350. He caught that coin right at launch. He put $3 in, and 5 days later he sold it, made $350,000. And so, he was early, he was new, he was playing a lot of these different coins, and he caught one. It was really cool. And so, yeah, so it's up to you, man. I mean, we do all the due diligence and heavy lifting, especially on all the utility protocols and the blue chips. Like we bring all the information to the table for you. Now, if you want to learn how to do the same, we also teach that too. So it's like completely up to you. If you want to learn and be ingrained in crypto and learn this to be full-time, because we've had a few guys in our community that are full-time crypto. And so like you can go down that road, or you can go run your multiple businesses and check in once a month. It's entirely up to you. We just need to get you at least to a point where we build your portfolio out, because we're buy and hold investors for the most part. We treat it like real estate. You build the portfolio out, you cash flow, and then you sell, when the market cycle tells you to sell, which is not for another year to year and a half. So you got plenty of time to keep accumulating and building your businesses.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not day trading unless if you want to do that, that's your own thing, but it doesn't seem like that's the prescription.
It's not the strategy at all. Yeah. Day trading's another full-time job.
Yeah.
You're literally, you're developing a skill set to beat the other guy on the other side of the screen from you. That's like literally what you're doing there. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. That is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong, but to get good at that, you're going to put a lot of hours in, and you get yourself another full-time job. Like that's just the honest truth. Where the real wealth creation in crypto is done by hodling. They call it hodling, means the holders. If you go talk to the guys who are in early Bitcoin and they held, and now where are they at? I mean, they're pretty wealthy. Same with early Ethereum. Same with Phantom. Same with Avalanche. Same with Hex. Like we can go on and on and on these different cryptos, where if you just held them instead of trade them, you'd have made far more money than by trading the market back and forth. And so the holders are the ones who get wealthy in crypto.
Yeah, and I'm curious too. So we're looking at this as a long-term strategy, which I love, first of all, but you also have the speculation around it in terms of or skepticism is probably a better word. So we're familiar with the stock market, we're familiar with real estate investing, like you said. Like first of all, they have the label of safer on them because they've been around longer, which really means nothing other than they've been around longer, and there's tax codes around them.
And regulation, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if for someone who wants to experiment with crypto and maybe expand their portfolio to include crypto, stock market is investing in companies, not stocks. Real estate is investing in properties. What would you say what's the word for crypto? Because are they projects? They're not companies. We know that. But how do we think about what this is in terms of investing?
Digital assets and new technology. And so, like, blockchain, all it is just a peer-to-peer, censorship resistant, permissionless money. That's all it is. And it's just an online ledger where we hold each other accountable, and that can't be manipulated. And then you can build things on top of the blockchain that do different, specific use cases. Like there's lending protocols, there's leverage, there's different types of revenue generating. Like I'll give you an example. There's a protocol that's launching where it automates all your DeFi. So if you have liquidity providing, which means that you're the market maker and you're trying to compound different interest into these different pools, there's a protocol that does it all for you. And there's a fee associated to every time it does one of these moves, and you get a portion of the revenue. So there's a good example of a real good use case by holding that crypto. It's like holding Coca-Cola stock, and you get a dividend every quarter or whatever it may be. What's the purpose of holding the Coca-Cola? They say, well, you buy the company, sure, but can you go in there and change the recipe of Coca-Cola? No. Can you go in there and change the hours of the company? No. It's just it's basically you're just buying this, saying that you have interest in the company, and the crypto is no different. It's absolutely no different. And there's other incentives like dividends there, like I just told you, that help people, incentivize people to come in and play the game, which is what we love. We love passive income. We love that aspect of it. So so digital assets that's just shaping into new technologies at all times. There'll be a time and a period when AI and crypto will be merged together, and it's already coming to that point. Cryptocurrency is the money for AI. It's the perfect link up. So it's just, this is the future, and you want to front run the future.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. And I think my biggest question, I'm curious to hear your answer around this, is I'm going to put your website on the screen here too. And it's also in the show notes down below, wherever you're watching and listening. It's one of these things where I first got involved in crypto, I don't know, probably 8 to 9 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing serious, but I've always had that mindset of this is the future. I want to have a piece in it and see where it goes. So I can't wrap my head around why it's not more well adopted at this point. And I'm curious to hear your take on that. I'll give you the perfect example. My business partner here at What If, he's got another company, and they have a loan to start their company. They have investors, and the money for this loan, we're talking mid 7-figure loan. So no small chunk of money. It had to go from country to country, bank to bank. People were holding it. People were raising red flags. And I was like, why have we not considered crypto for this? Because it would have been there in 3 minutes with no questions asked.
Yep.
I can't wrap my head around this. I would love for you to explain this.
We're seeing that. We are seeing that. We're seeing it right now where there's a lot of different banks all over the world that are testing what we call CBDC. CBDC stands for central bank digital currencies. And then right now they're testing it as a settlement layer from bank to bank. But there will be a day one day where it'll be integrated in our society as normal means of money. Now that's actually a bad thing, not a good thing. We don't want that, because who controls the money controls people. So you got to be careful with these things. And I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on too much today, but that's already coming. It's already there. The one issue that we've seen with crypto is that the time that it's taken to evolve, right? So in the very early days, we just had Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, all it was, the only function it had was to be able to send it to somebody and receive it. And its function on that was horrible. You had to wait an hour to send your Bitcoin, and it was expensive. And it's never been the greatest. It's spaghetti code. It's the floppy disk of crypto. And so we have these new evolutions in crypto coming all throughout. And, EVM chains, when Ethereum launched, it was very innovative, because now you can program your money to do different things for you. It was a wild idea. And so now those EVM chains are evolving in new type of iteration. So the technology is what we're kind of at the mercy of. Plus, the human race or society can only take it on so fast. So I'll give you an example. Every 4 years is the market cycle repeat. So we have a bull run, a bear market, an accumulation zone, and this happens every 4 years. Well, also every 4 years, the adoption rate doubles. So the amount of people we have using the internet, those people double every 4 years, the people who use crypto. So this last market cycle, the last bull run was in 2021. There was around about 4% of all worldwide internet users were in crypto. This time around, it'll be 8%. So in 2025, it'll be around 8% of all internet users will be, using crypto, and then 16, and so it's growing, and we see the growth, and that's why we see the asset class, making so many millionaires and billionaires because of the growth. But it still has been pretty slow because we're only at the mercy of how fast the tech can evolve, and the world to adopt it, because the Fed and governments do not like crypto. It's a threat to big banks. It's a threat to governments. And so they want to control the money. So right now they are fixing that problem. You'll see CBDCs coming soon, and then you'll be forced to live either in their world, which you'll have to at least a little bit with some of your money, because that's how you get gas at the pump. It's how you're going to buy food. But then the majority of your money, for me, my family, will be in DeFi, decentralized finance, where they can't touch it. And so the bulk of my money will live in that world. And so that universe is coming. When, we don't know.
Well, we know it's coming because, like you said, whoever controls the money controls the people and everything else. And that's, yes, entertainment purposes only. We both have our tinfoil hats on. But if you can't see that, well, lift your head out of the sand, please, and do some more research. But no, Corey, this was fantastic. I appreciate you unpacking this. And you get nervous because I'm in this world. I understand it to a very small degree, but I've also seen both sides. I've seen the crypto bros on the internet, just flashing meme coins at you, saying you're going to be the millionaire in 3 weeks. And I appreciate that you actually provide education and a sustainable investing long-term strategy too around your community. So for you listening, if you want to go check out Corey's community, we put the website on the screen here, cryptocashflowsystems.com. It's in the show notes down below, wherever you're listening or watching. And Corey, I like to end the episodes with a question. And we believe here, what if powerful questions get you powerful answers? So in the market of crypto, looking at your future investments, whatever you want to ask the question about, what's that one question that you would love the listener to just think about for the rest of today, the rest of the week, in terms of moving their investments forward, their diversification forward, whatever that may be? What's that question you want them to think about?
The number one way to make wealth in this world is, are you early? So with real estate, obviously that's an old asset class. That's a very old asset class. That's why the wealth is growing so slowly there. You can get on new innovative stocks. Ask yourself, whatever you're doing in your life, or what are you trying to apply, your wealth building, are you early? And this is with businesses too. I'll give you an example. My real estate wholesale business, I came in, I was kind of early, but then there was a time where it got so competitive and it was so tough because I was no longer early. Everyone and their mom was selling a wholesaling course on real estate, and there was all these gurus, and it became the next thing since sliced bread. That was the top. And so, you want to be early, and it's key. And with crypto, are you early? You know the answer to that one.
That's a good question. We know the answer, and what came to my mind was the adoption curve for the early adopters, the innovators, the vast majority. I obviously am butchering all the terms, but look at the shape of that curve and plot where we are in the crypto map, and maybe just put your bank account next to it if you want to invest. So very cool.
Don't go crazy, right?
Yes, don't go crazy. That
you don't have to bet the farm to buy the farm. Now we're all in.
Yeah,
we understand the space. So.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Corey, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for unpacking this with me. For those of you watching, listening, wherever you are, if you want to get into crypto, please do your research. Go find someone, find a mentor who can actually help you and not scam you. I've seen a number of them out there. The website's on the screen. It's in the show notes. Go check out what Corey's doing. And also make sure you subscribe. We want to bring this out of the box advice to you to help you grow your business sustainably, get out of the prison that Corey talked about. Business should be fun. You should also have multiple ways of growing your wealth and your investments. Don't be all in on one thing. We'll see you on tomorrow's episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Thanks for being